Welcome to the March edition of Talk to Terry. I'm Terry Swanson, broker of Results Realty Services. In this month's Talk to Terry, we're going to look at some national trends in mortgages and the information from the stimulus package that Congress has put into play. And then we're going to finish it up looking at wholesale, retail, and new sales coming across the North Atlanta market and see what impact they'll have on you. The two most important numbers that we're going to really study the trends of are going to be the average prices across the country and the number of sales as well. Now, as you can see, the 5 popular indexes for home prices, you'll notice the Case-Shiller dropped just a little bit more than last month. Now, on a year-to-year adjustment, it's a 19.2% decrease in the average price year-to-year. Now, you can see in the number of sales, the existing sales dropped on an average of 8.6%. Pending sales are up 5.3%, and new construction has dropped just a little bit more, down to 48.2% on the decrease in the number of sales. Now, the best number out of this to pay attention to is the pending sales. And as you can see, we had an increase of 5.3%, which means that next month's closings should have an increase as well. So look for this number, and we'll study the trends as that goes along. It'll be very important to pay attention to. Housing prices have been falling across the country, and largely due to the foreclosure rate coming from the large lenders. The good news is the government is reacting swiftly and trying to create a floor in the prices. They just initiated a great program to help more than 4 to 5 million people that may be in a crisis scenario. If you need more information, go to the link right here on this site and check it out to see if it's something that can benefit you. As soon as this plan starts to take hold, the prices should start to level off and we'll start to see some sort of recovery. Last month we talked about the supply and demand of each of the areas on the north side of town. This month we're going to take an in-depth look on wholesale, retail, and new homes that have recently sold. Now, as you can see in the Forsyth County area, right here you can see the spike up in the sales for the $200,000 to $300,000 price point. Now, pay close attention to the area in green because that shows you the wholesale homes that have sold. Now, it's going to become more interesting for the retail seller to be selling in the environment we're going into. And as this graph right here shows, you can see where the red line spikes up on the retail home sellers and then comes plummeting down over the last couple months. This shows you a 15-month trend for retail, wholesale, and new. And what you'll also pay attention to is the wholesale, which is the bottom line, all of a sudden spikes up over the last couple months and takes a higher interest in the sales that have been happening. A big number we're going to have to pay attention to for Forsyth County, and is this a wave coming from other areas or short-lived for here? Only time will tell. There's some real interesting trends going on in Gwinnett County, but one of the most important ones is to really look at the pricing chart here, and you can see in the different categories of wholesale, retail, and new. Wholesale is the higher number in each of those pricing categories. But the other thing to pay attention to is when you get above $200,000 in Gwinnett County, it becomes a very challenged arena, and there aren't that many buyers, especially when you go above $400,000 in price. Next, we'll take a look at the graph that shows a 15-month trending report on the wholesale, retail, and new number of sales. And as you can see, the red line, which represents your retail buyer, that has dropped off significantly over the last year. And we've seen an increase in the green line, which shows your wholesale homes. And new homes, simply because of the banking industry and what we're going through there, there have not been many homes to be sold in Gwinnett. But the wholesale homes have definitely been spiking up and taking the leadership of things that people want to buy. And this is a trend we really need to pay attention to in Gwinnett County. We've got to stop the wave of foreclosures over there to start getting some stability. Now let's take a look at North Fulton, and I'm glad to get here because there's some positive things going on. As you can see by the number of sales in the different pricing categories, the retail sellers, which is your red bar there, is the #1 category up until we get to around $600,000. That's when the wholesale homes take effect. The reason for that is in North Fulton you didn't see many builders building homes until you got in the $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 range. So there's not many inventory homes out there in the pricing categories, which gives a better opportunity for your retail seller, which is most of you are, to succeed in that North Fulton pocket. Now, as we take a look at the trends, as you can see in this graph here that shows the 15-month tracking report, you can see where the retail sellers, although they're still the highest on the graph, they've definitely dropped down. And you can see the green line here right in the middle. It's the wholesale homes that have spiked up just a little bit here recently and gotten very close into the retail sellers' numbers. So this will be a trend that we really have to pay close attention to. What effect are your wholesale homes going to have with the next wave that they're trying to stop of foreclosures? We'll pay close attention to North Fulton, but right now, you're the best of the best out there for retail sellers. There's one thing I can tell you with absolute certainty. Prices have fallen a good bit across the country, and when they finally acknowledge that we've reached the floor, the deals that are on the table today will not be there tomorrow. Don't wait to see if that home that you ultimately would love to live in drops another $10,000. Mortgage rates are phenomenally low, and if it dropped another $10,000 yet your mortgage rate went up 0.5%, you'll find yourself paying more for that home each and every month. Not a wise decision. So take advantage of the prices that are out there today if you find the home that you want. It's a great opportunity, and the deals of a lifetime are out there. I'm Terry Swanson. I hope you enjoyed this month's segment. Sincerely with passion. Over and out.